People have been raving about this game ever since its release in 2021, and I decided to see if it was actually worthy of all the praise. Come along and let's find out. Hey everyone, it's Sumi here, and today we're taking a look at Before Your Eyes. Before Your Eyes was developed by Goodbye World Games and came out in 2021 to overwhelmingly positive reviews. The game was critically acclaimed and won the BAFTA Award for Games Beyond Entertainment, an award given to development teams who created a game that delivers a transformational experience beyond pure entertainment. Other winners of this award are games like Endling, Extinction is Forever, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and My Child Lebensborn. Before Your Eyes also got a lot of attention for its innovative play technique of using the webcam of the player to see their blinks and trigger events. This was unfortunately not a mechanism that worked for me while recording my playthrough, nor after I tried off recording. I'm still not entirely sure why. That said, I was still able to play without the blinking mechanism, and I still got a very full experience with the game. So if you don't have a webcam that you use, you can still play and really enjoy it. Let's talk about the story of Before Your Eyes. Before Your Eyes follows the soul of a person named Benjamin Bryn whom we play as. It begins with us floating in a sea of other souls only to be picked up by the ferryman. The ferryman is a humanoid dog and his boat is covered with creepy looking seagulls. It's not the most welcoming place to be. This game takes a lot of its inspiration for the afterlife from ancient Egyptian mythology, with the ferryman being a similar role to that of Anubis who would guide souls to the afterlife. The ferryman tells us that he's going to take us to see the gatekeeper to be judged. The gatekeeper is in a similar role to that of the goddess Ma'at, the goddess of balance and justice. If we're able to impress her with our life story, we get to move on to the beautiful afterlife that's full of happiness, joy, and peace. The ferryman is the one who's going to tell the gatekeeper our life story, so he tells us to tell him about our life, our memories, and who we were while we lived. So we do. Now, a note for all of you, this is a choice-based game, so the story that you get when you play may vary from what I experienced, which is part of the beauty of this game. I'll tell you the story that I experienced, but if that's not the same as what you saw, that would be why. Our first memory is a memory of us as a small child at the beach with our mother. The colors are bright and saturated, the sky is as bright as the sand, and our mother is right there with us. Our next memory is playing on a toy piano as our mother plays her piano in the same room. It jumps ahead to us in the bath, hearing our mother playing in the other room while our father gets ready in the bathroom. We hear them talk and we get a sense of their relationship, which is really quite supportive and sweet. We discover that our mother is a composer who writes music but isn't able to support her family with it yet. She grew up learning piano from her father, who was a brilliant musician. Over the years, our mother learns that we have a pretty good talent for the piano ourselves. We can pick up on the pieces that she writes and gives us without a lot of issues, and she sees that as an opportunity to mold us into the success that she was never able to be herself. As you can guess, this doesn't pan out the way she wanted. It's clear in the memories that piano is not something that we are passionate about. We do it because our mom wants us to, not really because we love it ourselves. As a kid, we had a lot. Loving parents who, even though they fought sometimes, still loved each other. A safe home, a cute pet cat that our mom likes even though she's allergic, and in grade school, we meet our new neighbor, Chloe, who becomes our best friend. She likes video games and comes over to play them with us, something that we would much rather do than practice piano. And yet, we are pretty good at piano. So good that our mom convinces us to apply for a prestigious music school and even gets us an audition for it. Despite us doing pretty dang good in that audition, if I do say so myself, we don't get accepted. However, that's not where our artistic journey ends. When we're 11 years old, we get sick. So sick that we are stuck at home for a year. During this year, we discover a new talent and a passion for visual art, specifically painting. This talent only grows, and with a push from our parents, support from our teachers, and a little bit of luck, Benjamin Bryn is able to make it as a renowned artist, a well-known painter. We have a career in the arts, something that our mother is endlessly proud of, as someone who wasn't able to make it happen for herself.
Hey, Ben. Don't even pick up this call, okay? I mean it. I'm just calling to inform you that I went to the doctor today, and, well, I'm going to be a little sick for a while, but...
Unfortunately, things take a turn for the worse, and our mother gets sick and passes away. Her dying threw a massive wrench in our mental state, obviously, and it puts our entire career on hold. We lose our art agent, we lose our home, and we have to move in back with our dad. But maybe that was a blessing in disguise. While living in our childhood home, we create a piece that goes on to be known as our masterpiece. We skyrocket back into the public eye and become known as one of the great modern painters. We've made it. We have truly made it. We even get reconnected with Chloe, someone who could become someone really special to us. Our life story is interrupted by the ferryman, who sums up our life in a tale that he practices telling to the seagulls on board. The ferryman is so impressed with our story, and he cannot wait to tell the gatekeeper about our vibrant life. However, the birds disagree. Instead of the typical response that you'd expect from birds, which is probably nothing, they explode in a cacophony of anger.
Shut up, you scumdogs!
Turns out, those are not regular birds. They're liar birds. Souls that were caught lying to the gatekeeper during their judgment, condemned to never reach the peaceful afterlife. And they know that you've been lying about your life. The ferryman forces us to go back in our memory and discover the truth, to figure out what we've been lying about. And the truth is a painful one. As it turns out, our maternal grandfather passed away when we were very young, and our mom never got over the fact that she was never able to quite live up to his grand expectations of her, and never would. This was our first interaction with the effects of death. Turns out that we never actually became a great painter that made our mother proud, that lived up to her expectations of us. Turns out that year of being sick wasn't just a year. Or maybe it was, and it was just our last. Benjamin Bryn was diagnosed with a terminal illness at the age of 11. Bedridden, all we could do was listen to our parents talking in other rooms and use our grandfather's typewriter to write out the story of our life. A very sad, very bleak story of our life. It was there in that bed that we crafted this beautiful, ideal life where we weren't sick. We were able to have teenage years and an adulthood and a career. We were able to make our mom so very proud of us with the work that we did and the pieces that we created. We conjured up a future. The one thing we never ended up getting. The truth is, Benjamin Bryn died as a child. He died before he could become an artist. He died before he could fall in love. He died before he thought he could make his family proud. The ferryman sees the truth of our life and knows exactly what to tell the gatekeeper. He tells us that the form she takes reflects the person she judges, and when we finally come to be judged by the gatekeeper, she takes the form of our cat. As we see in the memories, this cat was our childhood pet that went missing for a while and then came back pregnant. She had 3 kittens, and in our fantasy memory, those kittens grew up to be happy in other homes. But in the memories we were suppressing, they were actually killed by feral dogs. That was our second run-in with the idea of death. Our cat Ernie went missing. When we were bedridden with our illness, Ernie came back to us, old and a little scraggly, but still loving. It is in a form very reminiscent of Ernie that the gatekeeper shows herself. She listens as the ferryman tells her about us. We are brought back to a memory of our mother after she read our autobiography, our very self-deprecating autobiography. She tells us about how she rewrote our story the way that she sees it.
Gatekeeper, before you sits the soul of a child who died before he could grow old.
That means she's ready to hear your story.
The gatekeeper heard our story and saw how genuine it was, and she let us pass on to peace.
She accepts. Close your eyes now, and keep them closed. She's gonna let you in.
Why is he smiling like that?
It must be somewhere that he likes.
And that is how the story of Before Your Eyes ends. Now, I have to say, this game made me sob like a child. Like, I could not contain myself. And it's hard to pinpoint exactly what about it made me feel so deeply, but I think that's part of what makes art so beautiful and so powerful. The way that this game utilizes an unreliable narrator for the better half of the game makes you believe the fantasy and the delusions, and makes you emotional because you followed the story of this person who's going through all sorts of understandable life challenges, like being wanted to fit a certain expectation put upon you by others, or expectations of what you should be or what you should do, challenges that pretty much everyone has experienced. You've lived through the memories of this person who's doing their best but has to figure out how to continue pursuing his passion amidst painful grief and failed aspirations. You feel his success when you see that he succeeded in helping his mother to become the composer she always dreamed she would be, and you see the future he looks forward to when Chloe comes back as an adult. And the way that all of that crumbles the moment you realize that none of it was real and it was all an illusion that Ben made up to cope with the fact that he knew he would never be able to live what he defined as a full life, Like, it sucks. You have to watch as this child deteriorates with his machines and pain and medicine. And even though his life was still beautiful and he was a light to those around him, the pain of knowing that he dies, it hits really hard. Even the gameplay slows down. The mouse sensitivity becomes so low that it's hard to look around or hover over actions, and it mimics the difficulty that Benjamin has functioning normally. The game just makes you feel so deeply, and their utilization of moments is absolutely striking. I absolutely loved all of it. Now, when it comes to the graphics, this game has such a distinct style and feel with a beautiful grasp on lighting and color, shape, and feel. I love that even though scenes tend to be very simple in design, they still evoke emotion and memory, using sound and movement to create depth. The way that every memory only has blobs of the setting also feels so very correct, because when I think about my own memories from childhood, I can see some things with incredible clarity, but then other parts of the same room, I just can't focus on as much. I don't remember what's in that corner over there, but I remember that specific table, you know? The game just does a really great job of capturing that feeling. It's nostalgic and comforting and daunting and all of the things that sometimes memories make us feel, and it was really amazing. I thought that the sound design of this game was also stellar, with different sound effects like the metronome or the click of each blink or the pages turning really sticking out to you. I thought the design was really, really good, and what made it even better was the absolutely amazing music design. So much of the story revolved around Benjamin and his piano, and the underscoring of music when you look at sheet music or crumpled paper that hints at the true feelings of Benjamin, who is the actual only character who never speaks, is really amazing. I loved the music in this game. It's so beautifully composed, so props to Oliver Lewin and Dylan Terry for the fantastical original score. When it comes to the gameplay itself, I feel like I do have a slightly skewed perspective because the eye tracking never quite worked for me, which really is a bummer. I'll say what I can though. I think that using the blinking mechanism for a story like this is nothing short of genius. Memories being cut off early because you blinked, or in my case, clicked, felt that much more impactful, especially when you know that the topic you moved on from had been particularly important. But isn't that how it goes in real life? Like, you don't remember most conversations word for word, and even if you do, there is a point where you stop being able to recall it perfectly. And that's just how it goes, and that's what it's like in this game too. And the fact that the writing is so good that you can fully understand the story of the game even if you cut every scene in half it's so good. I absolutely adored the style of the gameplay. It was innovative, and it was something that I've never done before. I rarely see games integrate webcams into their game design, though I'm starting to see that pop up more actually. It's really exciting to see this artistic medium being used like this. And it actually feels a little bit like a theatrical experience, since the player has so much more involvement in how the story unfolds than I'm used to in games. I recommend this game to everyone who loves story games and interactive games. This one is emotional and deep and beautiful, and it is just an amazing experience. The game took me about an hour and a half to complete, so it's a nice and short game, and it was about $20 Canadian, and so it's very, very worth it. I highly encourage you to try it and let me know what you think. Hey, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel out a lot. I hope you have a great day or night or whatever time it is for you, and we'll see you in the next one.